The farmer who heard footsteps in the attic. Part 2. The silence. The first thing people noticed was the silence. Days passed. The Gruber family was nowhere to be seen. The farm appeared strangely quiet. Neighbors became concerned. The family normally attended church. Children were normally seen around the property. The animals should have been making noise. Yet something felt wrong. Very wrong. Then came another strange discovery. Smoke was still rising from the chimney. Someone appeared to be tending the fire. The animals were still being fed. The farm looked active. But nobody had actually seen the family. It was as if the farm itself was pretending that everything was normal.
The Search Party. On April 4th, 1922, neighbors decided to investigate. As they approached the farm, a terrible feeling settled over them. The yard was quiet. The doors were closed. The air felt heavy. One of the men called out. No answer. Again. Nothing. The searchers stepped onto the property. What they were about to discover would haunt them for the rest of their lives. They entered the barn first. And there, in the darkness, they found the bodies. 4 members of the family lay together. The sight was horrifying. The searchers stumbled backward in shock. For a moment, nobody could speak. Nobody could process what they were seeing. But the nightmare was only beginning.
The House of Death. The search continued. Inside the farmhouse, investigators discovered 2 more victims. The new maid and a young child. Both dead. The entire family had been wiped out. 6 lives gone. An entire household erased. Yet what disturbed investigators most was not simply the crime itself. It was what happened afterward. Because evidence suggested someone had remained on the farm after the murders. For days. Possibly living there. Walking through the rooms. Eating meals. Sleeping at night. Completely alone. Surrounded by the victims.
The killer who stayed. Think about that. The murders had already happened. The danger should have been over. The killer should have fled. Instead, someone stayed behind. Fresh food had been eaten. Animals had been cared for. The kitchen showed signs of recent use. The fireplace had been maintained. Who would do such a thing? Why remain at a murder scene? Why risk being caught? Investigators were deeply disturbed. It suggested something frightening. This wasn't a crime committed in panic. It appeared deliberate, controlled, calculated. The killer seemed comfortable, almost as if the farm belonged to him. The attic theory. Then investigators remembered the strange stories, the footsteps, the noises, the footprints, the missing key. A horrifying possibility began to emerge. What if the killer had been there long before the murders? What if the mysterious sounds in the attic had been real? What if someone had secretly been watching the family, learning their routines, studying their habits, waiting for the perfect opportunity? Suddenly the pieces began fitting together. The footprints, the noises overhead, the missing key. Everything pointed toward a terrifying conclusion. Someone may have been hiding on the farm long before the murders occurred.
The suspects. Police searched desperately for answers. Many suspects emerged. Former workers, neighbors, family acquaintances, travelers, even relatives. Some people claimed Andreas Gruber had enemies. Others believed the killer knew the family personally. One suspect seemed promising, then another, then another. Yet every lead eventually collapsed. No confession, no arrest, no conviction. The investigation grew colder. The mystery grew deeper. And the truth slipped further away. The twist. Most people believe the horror lies in the murders. But that's not the most terrifying part. The most terrifying part is that the killer succeeded completely. Think about it. An entire family disappeared. The killer spent days on the property. Investigators found clues. Witnesses reported strange events. Yet nobody was ever proven responsible. The murderer vanished into history, as if he had stepped out of the darkness and then returned to it, never to be seen again. The attic. Years later, people continued discussing one question. Who was making those noises? Were the footsteps connected to the murders? Was someone really hiding above the family? Or were the sounds unrelated? No one knows. And that uncertainty keeps the case alive even today. Because if someone truly occupied the attic before the murders, then the family may have unknowingly shared their home with their future killer. Imagine sleeping peacefully while a stranger watches from above. Imagine hearing footsteps and convincing yourself everything is fine. Imagine ignoring the warning signs. That possibility is what makes this case so chilling. The ending? More than a century has passed. The farmhouse no longer stands. The people involved are gone. The investigators are gone. The witnesses are gone. But the mystery remains. Somewhere, the truth existed. Someone knew exactly what happened at Hinterkaifeck. Someone carried that secret for the rest of their life, and then died with it. The case remains unsolved. The killer remains unknown. The answer remains hidden. Perhaps forever. Final thought. Many horror stories end when the monster is defeated. This one doesn't. Because nobody knows who the monster was. No name. No face. No confession. Only footprints leading from the forest. Footsteps in an attic. A missing key. A silent farm. And 6 people who never saw the danger until it was standing right beside them. Even today, when investigators revisit the case, one question continues to echo through history. Who was walking above the family at night? And if the answer is what many fear, then the murders may have begun long before the first victim ever entered that barn. The end.